Hey everyone, welcome back to Last Night I Watched, where we all get together and talk about movies that we watched. This previous week, we just watched the movie Clue, 1985 mystery crime film. Playing with us today, I got player one to my left, Ian. What's up, Ian?
Hey, Roman, how's it going?
It's going good. And then also to my left, I got Kristian. Morning, Kristian. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, yeah. Ready to find out which one of us is the killer. It might be Carlos over there. What's up, Carlos?
Hey.
Hey, and then Colonel Mustard to my right, Mark. Morning, Mark. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. Yeah, this is a good movie. And then I'm Roman as well. So Professor Plum or I don't know, Mr. Green, whatever.
Mr. Green.
I always took Professor Plum when I played.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, he's a bit of a creep in this movie though. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's Christopher Lloyd, right?
Yeah. Christopher Lloyd. So
yeah,
a pretty good. I don't know if I'd use the word star-studded, but definitely a solid ensemble cast. And just a good time, good writing, and very entertaining, and almost a little inappropriate too. Definitely, this is one that I watched as a kid, and I just thought it was a fun, goofy movie where they're trying to figure out who done it. But as you watch it as an older guy, you realize there's a ton of innuendo in here, and it makes me realize I don't know how I missed that when I was a kid.
Yeah,
because it's pretty over the top.
Yeah.
Every person in this room has the perfect motive.
Stand back!
For murder.
What do you mean? Murder.
But only one of these suspects is the murderer. Is it the timid Mr. Green?
Why are you screaming? Because I'm frightened of what? Screaming!
Or the militant Colonel Mustard?
If I was the killer, I would kill you next. Huh? I said if.
Mrs. White, who helped her husband on his way?
Well, it's a matter of life after death. Now that he's dead, I have a life.
Miss Scarlet, who's helped many men along the way?
Practice makes perfect. Huh.
Professor Plum, who's looking for a way?
I'm looking.
Mrs. Peacock?
I have absolutely no idea what we're doing here, but I am determined to enjoy myself.
Or did the butler do it?
No.
Paramount Pictures invites you to an evening of mystery,
Let us out!
murder,
This is getting quite serious.
and madness. In the movie that makes a scene of the crime,
So who did it?
Clue. It's not just a game anymore.
So the gist of it is essentially these strangers are gathered at a big mansion on a hill, and they're all being blackmailed, and they don't know by who or why exactly. And they get together, and Mr. Body, very aptly named, ends up dying, and the rest of the movie basically is spent trying to figure out who did it. Was it Mr. Plum in the study with the candlestick or such and such? If you've played the game, you kind of know how it goes. The movie's actually pretty faithful to the game, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they made the rooms adjacent to or in line with how the rooms are laid out in the board game.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I think I read that, which if that's true, that's awesome.
Yeah, these guys are definitely fans of the game.
Yeah, that's very good attention to detail.
Yeah. And another thing that got me is the fact that they just constantly like meet up over and over again, and they're like, all right, let's gather, and somebody just got murdered, but instead they'll just sit down and discuss. And I always did think that was funny when you play Clue. Like, I don't think this would really happen, but here in the movie it does.
Yeah.
Of course they split up, the faux pas of splitting up, but that's how you get more action that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of cool characters, lots of funny dialogue back and forths, a lot of quick, snappy, and lots of innuendo as well. So yeah, Ian, what was your kind of first thoughts watching Clue? You've seen it before, the movie?
Yeah, I watched it a few months ago. I can't remember why. I think I just felt like watching Clue and had a great time. I first saw this on TV as a kid, and I liked it, but as I've gotten older, I found more of an appreciation for it, just because it's just so, like you were saying, kind of Roman. It's like a joke a minute. It's to the point where it's like I want to like rewind and play it again because I felt like I missed a joke. Because it's just so quick. It's really snappy, and yeah, we watched it last night. Kristian, this is your first time watching it, right?
Yep, last night with you.
Yeah, and I was laughing pretty much through the whole thing. It's very funny. I like Moida Mysteries. It's like Agatha Christie. What's that? Is it 10 Little Indians, I think?
I don't know that one.
I think
But
that's
Agatha Christie or Poirot or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, just a whodunit.
It's like yeah, exactly. It's like the kind of what people go to when they're kind of referencing or trying to make a whodunit Moida mystery. And
yeah, some recent ones would be like Knives Out,
Yeah.
Murder on the Orient, Death on the Nile, that type of
exactly.
stuff.
And yeah, I like how it's like a storm's going on. I like when Christopher Lloyd and the actress who plays Miss Scarlet, Lesley Ann Warren, they're driving up to the house, and that gives like an establishing shot of the mansion, and Miss Scarlet goes, "Why did the car stop?" And Professor Plum goes, "It's frightened." It's such a great line. It's kind of like that, I was thinking about this. I've never thought of this before, but I was thinking of it last night. This is like something you could almost show, like maybe if you had like young kids around Halloween, you could like show them this or something, because it's not violent enough, and it's maybe with the innuendo, maybe not, but maybe if you trust your kids, I feel like it'd be something fun you could watch around that time of year, because it is kind of, at certain parts, it is kind of spooky.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is a fun movie. I'm glad you chose it, because it's almost like a play.
Yeah, it is.
In a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just remind me of.
Yeah, isolated sets, like all in one mansion. I think I was telling you, Carlos, before, it's very House on Haunted Hill. It's literally a hill house, even. But even, driving up to it, the beginning, that establishing shot you're talking about, which I think is that a matte painting, probably.
I think so, probably, yeah.
Even the scenes, because in House on Haunted Hill, they give everybody guns. Vincent Price hands out guns, I believe. And in this one, Mr. Body goes and he hands out weapons to everybody, which is just silly, but... yeah, I like what you said. It could be like a family film, because the kids don't know. The kids don't know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, the jokes are definitely a mile a minute. I did rewind a few times to catch stuff. Like I think probably one of the best ones was when he's talking. Wadsworth is talking to Christopher Lloyd's character, and he says something about like, "You used to be a psychiatrist for the deranged and people that think that they're more important than they are. Delusions of grandeur." And he's like, "Yes, but now I work for the UN." He's like, "So you do the same thing?"
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, what did he just say? I had to rewind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think is that the John Landis effect, because he does like National Lampoon. He did Blues Brothers. I think he's involved in the Airplane movies, right?
No, he directed Kentucky Fried Movie,
Right.
which the Airplane guys wrote.
Oh, okay. So they work together, kind of.
That's, I think, the only time they worked together was Kentucky
Oh, no
Fried
kidding.
Movie.
Huh.
It could be, because I think he wrote the story for this, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
From when I saw him.
I saw screenwriter credits
Yeah.
for him. Yeah.
It could be. When I think of I think of a lot of visual gags also, like in Animal House, like shit getting thrown out the window, Blues Brothers, cars crashing into each other, kind of stuff like that. I don't know it could have been, maybe him with the witty dialogue. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah.
You get Martin Mull, Colonel Mustard, opening the door at one point, and then the ironing board comes down and smacks him in the face.
That was good.
It's kind of a nice little visual gag.
Did you guys like the stepping in dog shit gag?
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Kristian, what did you think of the stepping in dog shit gag?
Jar Jar Binks? Lisa Jar Jar Binks? No, yeah, it's funny. It's
The dog
executed better than George Lucas did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything's executed better than that. Yeah.
Well, they call back to it a lot in the movie. Like,
yeah, because like
everybody-
everyone checks their shoes.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I actually didn't know that. It caught me. I think this is like my fifth watch maybe, and this was the first time I actually noticed in the beginning he steps in dog poop. And like I was always wondering. I just thought maybe the mansion smelled old or something. I didn't know it was about dog poop.
Yeah.
There was a couple things I caught even on this rewatch. This is a very rewatchable movie. I would say.
I think it benefits on rewatches.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
There was a lot of physical comedy in this one. I even got a little bit of the Three Stooges vibes in a couple places. Did somebody give the two fingers to the eyes?
I think
at one
so.
point?
At one
I think I
point.
remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, Body gives Mustard.
Yes,
Yep.
that's right. Yeah,
Nobody calls me a bastard.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that That's definitely an homage straight to Three Stooges.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like stuff like that.
I did hear though that they stuck pretty close to what was written in the script, and there was probably like one improvised line, and that was towards the end. I want to say
Madeline Kahn, right?
yeah,
Kahn,
Mrs.
yeah.
White, when she's saying flames in my head.
Yeah.
Flames. And that was probably one of the funniest bits too.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's just so unexpected. Her character is just so odd, Mrs. White.
I like how she's Mrs. White, but she's wearing black.
Yeah,
I
she's a
thought that
Black
was-
Widow, basically.
Yeah. And that's with the character kind of, she's got like, she has 5 husbands who all died or something.
Yeah,
remember
suspicious
correctly?
circumstances.
Yeah.
No, let's see, she had 2 husbands, and then she talked about having somebody else's husband.
Yeah, yes, yeah, like and multiple affairs and whatnot. There's a good gag when she's like, "Why would I talk about killing my husband in public?" And then I think Miss Scarlett goes, "Why would you want to kill your husband in public?" And then Kim Kerr's like, "No, I think she means talking about killing her husband while she's in public." And she just so happens to be in public or something like that. It's like, again, it's just such witty dialogue that's just so funny.
I almost think it's a little ahead of its time. I noticed they do that where they go back and forth, and say it's Colonel Mustard, he'll have one line, it's 7 words, and they'll show him on camera for half a second while he says his line, and then cut back to what's going on. So it jumps back and forth a lot, and it reminds me a little bit of like today on you go on YouTube or TikTok or Twitter, and everything like needs to grab your attention and come really fast, and almost a little ahead of its time in that sense. It's just they packed like three movies worth of jokes into one movie basically, because they all just talk back and forth so fast.
Yeah.
And it is like a play, like you were saying, Mark, because they go back and forth, and a lot of the movie is dialogue based.
Yeah.
And that's what Clue is. You get together and you discuss and try to figure out who the killer was, and you bluster and bolster. I don't know, some other words. Any synonym for lying.
You deduct. You use your deductive reasoning.
Yeah.
The director, he made them all sit down. Not made them, but they had a screening of an old Cary Grant movie. I don't know if it's Bringing Up Baby. It's something like that, because that's how they speak in that movie, Rapid Fire.
I could see that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's how he wanted them to speak in this movie.
That is like a what, 40s, 50s type thing too.
Yeah,
or-
definitely.
I always thought that watching
Screwball
movies.
comedies, yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought watching movies, I'm like, man, they just talked a lot faster back then.
Yeah.
And that mid-Atlantic accent too.
Yeah, it's like, man, he must have been really hopped up on caffeine or something. They're just like,
They were. I mean, they had dinner and then they say coffee and brandy for dessert. I
Oh,
was
that's
just like,
right.
Man, coffee and brandy, I can't imagine.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they knew how to party back
Isn't
then.
that an Irish coffee? Isn't that an Irish coffee? Irish
Sounds
coffee
right.
is some kind of whiskey in your coffee.
Mm-hmm. Tullamore Dew. I don't know. Sponsored
Alcoholic's
by
favorite drink, I'm sure.
Jameson.
Oh, God.
James, yeah. Irish.
No smell. No smell.
Because this movie does take place in the 50s. I mean, it's made
Right.
in 1985, but it's supposed to take it. Which
1954, I believe they say.
Mhm. Yeah, they say right at the beginning, which I never even noticed either before this watch. I mean, maybe it's just because when I see movies that are like 20 plus years old, I just like, oh yeah, that car that looks like it's from the 50s. I'm like, yeah, that was probably what it was like in the 80s. I don't know. It's all just, BC to me, BCE.
Yeah.
Before I was born era.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was until you said that just now. I actually thought it was set in the 80s, and all these people were just like really fancy and like high class or something.
You could look at it like that, really.
Yeah. I mean, they are all weird characters.
Right. Yeah. They all work for the government. They all have kind of like prestigious job titles.
Yeah.
They all kind of like work with like in Washington D.C. with some are married to people that work in Washington D.C. or like lawmakers, senators, something like that.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
Yeah, that's a connection that they all try to piece together.
Right.
Figure out who did it, who done it, why did you kill Mr. Body?
Yeah.
You had motive, you had motive, you had motive. Yeah.
I did like that government commentary. I think at one point they get a call from J. Edgar Hoover, and Tim Curry drops a pretty funny line about how, why wouldn't he be calling me? He's talking, or he's listening to everybody's phone or something like that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that's a good line. He says, yeah, it's like, well, he's listening to everybody else's phone. Why not mine or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was funny. And then at the end, they drop it like 3 times. Why, of course, communism was just a red herring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
They use it for all the endings.
Yeah.
So nice they used it thrice.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the because you could kind of get that feeling when I was rewatching it. That's what I thought of Tim Curry. Like, he's talking about his wife being with the socialists.
I was just gonna bring that up. That's
Yeah.
a good joke.
Yeah.
And he just starts crying.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes in life. Yeah, that's a great joke.
Yeah, and the way he's like, what could be more American than that, you know?
Yeah.
And it shows Mrs. Peacock for half a second. She's just like, nah, well, you're right. When he's talking about bribes.
Yeah.
Yeah, communism was a red herring, definitely. But yeah, they say it every time. I love that. And it makes me laugh every single time.
Yeah.
Communism was a red herring. It's just like, dude, too funny.
There's another gag where it's a joke about, I think it has to do with testicles or a penis, and after the joke is said, all the guys in the room cross their legs. I forget what the joke leading up to it is.
Because that's how Mrs. White killed her husband.
Yes.
I think she like decapitated him and then chopped him.
And
Allegedly.
then, yes, and then right after she says that, all the guys in the room cross their legs. It's like, that's funny.
Yeah, that's a good visual gag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, classic. Can't go wrong with those kind of jokes.
Kristian, this being your first time watching it, what'd you pick up?
I thought it was really funny. I might actually like this better than Knives Out.
Ooh, okay.
Because I like Knives Out quite a lot. But, I don't know. This had some more flavor to it, I guess you could say. A little more, I don't know, bravado, in a sense. Like, I don't know. I was laughing more.
Yeah.
It was more of a, I guess what you could call a fun time.
Right.
Like, because Knives Out's a fun time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
I would say that Knives Out's more like focused on the crime mystery part of it, and then the comedy is second, whereas this is more the crime mystery is just the vessel for the comedy, basically. You know, it's just the story set up, but then this is more of a comedy first type movie, I'd say.
Yeah. Both very good casts. I mean, it's hard to beat Tim Curry, though. You know?
He
Like,
makes this movie for me. I think he's the best thing about this movie.
Same.
Yeah, agreed. I saw that they were going to get Rowan Atkinson for this, but
Wow.
yeah,
Oh, man.
but they figured he wasn't
Wow.
well known enough yet, I guess.
Right. That could have worked.
For
But-
sure. He's a bit Mr. Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wadsworth.
Yeah, a little, like
The end.
the pratfalls and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. But at the same time, Tim Curry, that they struck gold. However, Rowan Atkinson, I could have seen working as well.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
He was going to be the butler?
Wadsworth. Yeah.
Wow.
I like when I'm a butler. What do? I buttle. Yeah. Just shit like that. Like it's so funny.
I buttle.
So fucking funny.
Even
Yeah.
at that first dinner scene too, if you're not careful, you can hear Miss Scarlet dropping sexual jokes.
Oh, right.
Just left and right, left and right.
Really.
But
Yeah.
they're super vague too, and I never understood them as a kid.
Right. She definitely has the most hidden innuendo jokes and stuff. Even at the beginning, when she's first introduced, she's like looking at her car and she sees the other car coming, so she bends over the engine and lifts her foot up.
Yeah.
Stands there, and of course it's Professor Plum, Christopher Lloyd, the pervert. So he has to stop and like stare, and
He's trying to touch your ass before they walk into the mansion or something.
he does, and that's
He
when
makes a little
Wadsworth is like,
grab
"I
ass.
didn't know you were acquainted."
Yeah.
We're
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a creep. He grabbed a few asses in this movie.
Right. Yeah.
One of them, the dead woman, a little bit like we covered Friday the 13th last week, and the coroner when he's like, just because she's dead, you know.
Yeah. Ugh.
I'm sure Christopher Lloyd's character had the same outlook on that.
I think this was before he did Back to the Future, right?
I think it came out the same year, so I don't know which one was shot first.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, same year.
Pretty cool.
Christian was saying that it's so weird looking at him with like not white hair,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
because in Back to the Future, he has, like, the old...
mad scientist hair.
Mad hair, and, like, then he's in this, and he's, like, got brown hair.
Kind of normal.
Like normal, yeah.
Yeah.
He sounds a little more normal, too, because in Back to the Future, he's like, I'm gonna go back to the future.
Wanted me to build him a bomb. He's pimple machine parts. Come on, we're getting here already. It's just a
Yeah.
Who do you think?
anyway.
Yeah, a little more unhinged in that movie.
Yeah.
This one, it's like everybody gets, a little bite at the apple, basically. They just go around back and forth, a little joke here, a little joke here. I liked Colonel Mustard's kind of thing that he has going throughout the movie where he's making a fool of himself, basically.
Yeah.
He'll be saying things wrong, or him and Wadsworth are going at it, and he's like, "Are you trying to make a fool of me?" He's like, "You don't need any help from me." He says, "That's right."
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, of course I don't need help from you. It's like, yeah, he kind of misses the insult.
That one made me bust up.
That's
this time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could probably go through the whole script, and it's just laugh after laugh. So this is a good one for that if you just want to sit back and laugh. And plus, especially if you played Clue, you know.
Yeah.
You get all the little jokes and references and things like that, the hidden passageways, and just again the fact that stuff is going crazy, and Wadsworth will say, "Okay, let's all sit down and talk," and everyone's got to discuss.
Yeah.
And they all take a seat, and Mr. Green can't find a seat.
Oh, that's a good. Oh, Kristian, you called that when he sits on the. I don't know what it was.
It's like a little desk or stand or something like that.
And right when it breaks, you're like, "Oh, I knew it."
Yeah, I thought it was gonna happen right away, but I was like, "Huh, okay."
I think it works better that way.
Yeah,
you establish that it's just able to sit on, and then out of nowhere it breaks. I think that's kind of funnier.
Yeah, almost. After some kind of line, maybe a lightning strike or something.
Right.
Tim Curry says something, and something important, and the chair breaks.
Yeah.
You were saying that this film's ahead of its time, but I would say the one thing that does stay back is Mr. Green being gay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that didn't hit as hard this time because we are in 2022, and it was kind of like, oh, so what? You're gay.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I almost thought it was supposed to be like that because it takes place in the 50s, So he's like,
that's a good point.
He's saying like, "Oh, I'll lose my security credentials or whatever,"
right, Yeah.
And I almost felt like they were saying like, "Look how ridiculous it was in the 50s. Like, we were making fun of guys that are gay."
Yeah.
He doesn't really act. I mean, I don't want to pretend like, there's a certain way you act when you're gay, but he kind of just acts like a normal, just how everyone else acts. It's not like he's like making passes at the guys or anything. He just kind of acts like I mean, we learned in one of the endings that he's not gay,
right.
But still, at least he's not like going out of his way to be like, I'm gay. Yeah. I'm the gay guy. Like,
there is that one part when they're like, let's pair up, and they offer like to pair up with the maid, and he's like, no thanks, but all the other guys are like, yes please. Yeah.
And for me, that's subtle enough to where it works. It's not just like, oh no, I don't like ladies. It's just like, oh no thanks. It's like, oh yeah, because you're gay. Like,
yeah, I like that.
Yeah, but he did get paired up with her, and
that's right.
He kind of, I don't know, made a little snarly face before they left.
Basically, nobody was happy with their partners when they get paired up, which I thought was funny.
Very true.
Yeah, the only thing I could see maybe like disparaging is that he gets sort of pushed around a lot, especially like when he first gets there and Wadsworth says sit to the dogs, and he like sits down on the bench.
Right, yeah. Submissive in a way, yeah.
Yeah, and then he's getting thrown by Wadsworth over and over again when he's reenacting Mr. Body's death.
Yes.
Which is hilarious, though.
I like when Wadsworth is reenacting everything, and he does like a Mr. Green impression.
Yeah.
I had to stop her screaming. It's out of nowhere. It's just so funny.
That is really funny because they're going so fast through everything, but he takes that time to stop and reenact, I had to stop her screaming.
Yeah.
He turns around and looks at everybody.
Yeah. Like it's vital to the reenactment.
Exactly.
The Mr. Green impression.
And he really slapped her, too. He really slapped
the
peacock again. Yeah. Did you like that? Did you guys think it was funny they just called each other by their pseudonyms the whole time? I got the feeling that even though they would know each other, they were still calling each other Plum or Peacock. Senator Peacock, they kept saying. And I'm like, so is that her real last name? Like, I don't know if I was supposed to just be... Maybe she was the one that actually didn't have a pseudonym.
Well, I think she's married to a senator, and maybe that's why they were saying that. They didn't want to say the senator's actual name. I think it works.
It works because you don't have to spend time getting to know the real backstories of the characters, or at least their names.
Yeah.
You can just be like, yeah, it's Peacock. Easily identifiable, I think.
Did you see where in the game the color of their clothing matches what their name is, and it wasn't like that in the movie?
Yeah, like Mrs. White is wearing all black. Yeah.
Mrs. Scarlet's in blue.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. I wonder why. I wonder what the intention there was. Subversion, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point.
Although when we are introduced to Mrs. White, she takes her coat off at the door, and it flashes all that white underneath. So kind of makes sense. But yeah, through the whole movie, she is wearing black. And Mr. Plum, I don't think he's wearing anything purple.
Yeah, he has like a purple smoking jacket on, doesn't he? I feel like his card.
Yeah, maybe.
That sounds familiar to me, but maybe it's different versions of the game. He still smokes the pipe though.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching this with my girlfriend. She said, "Did people really do that? Smoke pipes inside?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was the 50s."
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah.
That's what they did.
Yeah.
Cigarette, coffee, and brandy after dinner. The dessert of champions.
So prestigious. Yeah.
Did you tell her that restaurants used to have smoking and non-smoking
Airplanes
sections?
too.
I think she knows.
There are hotels, yeah. I remember hotels. I remember like 10 years ago in Florida, they still had smoking and non-smoking hotels. It's like, Jesus Christ.
There's an apartment in New York, Cosmo Kramer's apartment. He had a smoking. He did the smoking room there for a little bit.
That's when
he's like, "This is ridiculous.
His
We have to go
face
outside."
gets all gross.
Yeah, his teeth get all black.
That's a good episode.
Yeah,
that's when the Johnny Cochran lookalike
gets introduced.
Yeah.
Thanks. I couldn't remember his name.
Jackie Childs is his name in the show.
Yeah, but I'm like, who is he supposed to be?
Yeah.
That OJ lawyer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Going back to the set design though, like the kitchen looked like it was straight out of the board game. I don't remember what it's called. Is it called a green room?
The billiards room?
Not the billiards room, but where you grow plants and stuff.
Atrium.
Atrium or greenhouse,
yes, a garden, I guess. Yeah.
That looked like it was straight out of the board game.
Yeah.
And they even had like the secret passageways between each of the rooms too, which was pretty clever.
Yep.
I also like the props too. They had the knife straight out of the game, the rope, candlestick, everything straight out of the game.
The wrench,
Very faithful to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, did you guys know that it originally started and it was called Cluedo back in the day?
I think yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
I like this game so much, I bought it on Steam, and I think it's called Cluedo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think that's like the European name.
Yeah.
Until I think
Cluedo.
the Parker brothers bought it.
Yeah.
And then started revamping it as Clue.
Yeah.
I don't know the history of Clue, the board game. Did it come out in 1954 or whatever, whenever this movie takes place?
I think around that time, and it was originally called Murder.
Yeah.
Moide.
Kind of funny.
Moide.
Risque.
Yes.
A little too much.
Hey, you guys want to play Murder?
Yeah.
You play some Moide.
Yeah, you get like the veteran, the World War II veterans, like, I played Murder 10 years ago.
Mark, I don't know if we asked you, have you seen this movie before?
Yes. Back in 80-something.
Oh,
Did you see it in the theater?
No.
Oh.
No, I did not.
What'd you think about it on your rewatch?
I did pick up a lot of stuff that I missed. And I didn't really appreciate the rapid fire until watching it this time. I think a lot of that is because I've watched a lot of older movies since then. Bogart, Grant, those guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate it better. I keep going back to the cop. I mean, just the way he was. Everything is like on fire around him, and he's just like, is everything okay?
Mm-hmm.
I love that part of it. He just kind of Bill Henderson? Yeah, Bill Henderson.
Yeah.
He was funny. He had like his eyes popping out, watching people. He's like,
Should we make a Mike Tyson's Punch Out reference or no?
Yes.
Pull that up. Can you pull that up?
Mike.
So like have you guys ever played aside from us three? Have you guys played Mike Tyson's Punch Out?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god!
I mean, I've seen it, heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So he looks like Mike Tyson's coach.
Or it's your coach in the game. Oh, he looks like Stanley too from The Office.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
But the eyes all wide.
Yeah.
What's going on in those two rooms?
Great game. Hard but good.
Yeah.
And
anyway,
Tim Curry. I mean, almost a master class performance.
Yeah.
He was something.
This is one of his best performances, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was a great job.
And the nice thing about it is, I really loved it because he kind of acted like a butler, but then he'd slip a little bit and he wouldn't. And I just, that fine line that he walked, I mean, it was just incredible. And I think that's one of the best things about the movie.
I agree.
Me, is just watching him.
I agree, totally.
Yeah.
I heard that this was a huge failure in the theaters when it initially came out.
Yeah, because I think now this is like regarded as like a, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say classic, but
Cult classic.
it's looked back on, I feel, from everyone with a lot of positive regard now.
Yeah, my whole family loves it.
Yeah,
I've never show it to me when I was
I've never
younger.
met a person they're like, oh, that movie sucked. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder why people didn't. Maybe just people were too used to boner comedies at that time. You know, like Revenge of the, which I like those movies, but
Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Fast Times.
Yeah, Bachelor Party, stuff like that. You know, maybe people just weren't looking for this at that time when this came out. Maybe.
I heard that it might have had to do with the fact that they showed the different endings in different theaters depending on which one you went to.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to have all 3 endings, you would have to buy 3 tickets, if that was even possible.
Or if like that theater got all 3 prints of the, you know, because I'm thinking maybe just they sent one to one theater, one to you had to go across town maybe.
Yeah.
And then what if you got like shit out of luck and it's the same ending?
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
Yeah, you can't look it up on Google. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And if you guys look at it, we've got the cast up here on our monitor. If you look at the cast, especially the main characters, and I hate to say this, but those are pretty much B comedy actors. They're not A-list actors. And especially, you know, like Martin Mull, Michael McKean. I mean, Michael McKean was Lenny and Squiggy, Lenny and Squiggy back in the 70s.
Well, my mom walked in real quick when Kristian and I were watching this, and she said, "Oh yeah, this guy from Spinal Tap."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and they did such a good job, but maybe that's part of the reason why it didn't do as well as it did.
That's a good point.
And Landis, he had the idea for this. He was going to direct it. Decided that he was going to direct Spies Like Us.
Oh.
Have you guys seen that movie?
No.
Chevy Chase did. What do you think of that movie, Mark?
No, it was crap.
Yeah, yeah.
But it did great at the box office. So it's like, he got this project started. He went to one that had a better cast, and it ended up stomping the one that he got. Because this thing only made like $3 million.
That's insane. Wow. Well, I wonder what the competition. Can you go to Box Office Mojo really quick? I want to see what its competition was opening weekend.
And I bet, like you guys were saying, Back to the Future came out, so Christopher Lloyd, his star, probably rose after this movie.
Right,
but not necessarily.
Definitely.
He probably wasn't a box office draw at the time.
Yeah, I feel like the only person maybe that had, it was 2 million. That's so sad.
Jesus.
Click on that 2 million, maybe?
Domestic open.
So click on the December 13th through 15th. Can you click on that? So it's going up against Rocky 4, Spies. They went up against Spies Like Us. I think Rocky 4 is what really kind of. Although, is Jewel the Nile the Romancing the Stone movie? Yeah. Okay. It's got our good friend Danny DeVito in it. From what I recall.
Nice.
And Tim Curry, he was Rocky Horror. So is that really the only thing he had done up until then?
Probably. That's something the only person out of everyone that probably I think maybe had somewhat of a name is probably Madeline Kahn.
Yeah.
Being in Mel Brooks movies.
Mm-hmm. Is she the bride of Frankenstein or something?
She's
Young Frankenstein.
I forget what she is in that.
Young Frankenstein.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Blazing Saddles, which is really, really not PC.
Yeah, but it's still so funny though. It's still hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Gene Wilder? Is it Wilder or Wilder? Okay.
Willy Wonka.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
What
What'd
you guys think about the soundtrack in this movie?
Classy.
Yeah.
Memorable,
Silly.
not memorable?
Yeah, we were kind of joking, like it's like kind of like that, whimsical almost, kind of.
Yeah.
It fits the mood. I feel really well. This is such a whimsical kind of goof. There we go. Yeah.
Kind of like Psycho in a way.
A little bit.
Maybe a Hitchcock vibe.
I hear that. I see that.
Yeah.
They do show Martin Mull's silhouette right when he gets introduced, and it reminded me of Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's cool.
Yeah, he's a different guy, but still.
Right.
I just see a silhouette on the wall, and I'm like, oh yeah, there it is, Alfred.
Yeah.
Yeah, but whimsical is a good word to describe it, I'd say. I wanted to go back. You were talking about the 3 endings. Did you guys have a favorite of the three?
Great question.
Yeah, because
Yeah. I really like how they line it up in the DVD. That way we don't have to go to a separate theater each time or load up another.
On your DVD,
different
do you have
edition.
the option to watch it with a random ending?
I got it on Vudu, so it just has the 3 at the
Okay,
end.
on my Blu-ray, there's an option to watch, like you can choose, and it'll just play a random ending. But for Christian's sake, I chose, and I never watch it like that. I always watch it with 3 endings, just because I like
with the
seeing-
cards in between where it says, "But what if it happened like this?"
Yes,
I like that.
Yeah, I like it too.
especially because they're shaped like the little cards from Clue and
Yeah.
some text font. I mean,
Yeah. I really like that feature. It seems gimmicky. I was watching somebody explain how this was an era of gimmicky things like the house on Haunted Hill. They would sweep a skeleton into the audience in the theaters.
That's like the 50s though. You know, the 80s, I don't think they were. The only thing I can think gimmicky in the 80s was like they brought 3D back for a second.
Right.
Other than that, I mean, I felt like that was kind of almost kind of not cool to do.
That's
in a
why
way.
they think that this one
It made-
failed.
yeah, and that makes sense now.
Because they tried to do a 3 different ending gimmick and it didn't work. I like it when it's all lined up. It's kind of fun to think like, oh, what if that did happen? Oh, was it Miss Scarlet? Maybe. But I think that I do like the final one, the true ending. I think that is a good true ending where Mr. Body gets, or not Mr. Body, Wadsworth gets shot. Good shot.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good line.
That's a good finisher.
yeah. Always makes me laugh.
Yeah, Christian, what about you?
What about me? What?
With the endings.
Oh, I think I just like the regular one, like it's the real one.
The true
Oh,
ending.
yeah, the final, like, but this is what actually happened.
Yeah, I like the way they set it up to, or like just the cards and everything. Because at first I'm like, oh shit, it's the butler. Oh shit, it's this guy. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
wow, they're really going for this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was cool. Are we doing? I guess this is just like kind of a random scene. I really liked when Tim Curry is going around and like explaining how everything happened, and specifically when he goes back into it's like the fridge, like the walk-in fridge or whatever,
where the cook died.
and it looks like he like died in it, and he like falls out.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Right.
like reenacting how it all.
Mr. Green catches him. I think he just drops him. or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh man, he rolls his eyes and just drops
Yeah.
him on the ground.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah.
He took the reenactment very far.
Yes.
Turned off the light and laid on the ground.
Yeah.
They all screamed again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, all that's great. I wonder how different the 3 endings, like where the cut was basically to start reenacting things, or if he just started from the beginning 3 times and they just did new takes every time basically. From the beginning, as in after they walk and they just see like the dead maid and they just walk out because they're basically defeated at that point. They see the dead cop, I think, then, and then they see this dead singing telegram girl. Then they sit back, and that's when he kind of goes into like, I know who did it, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like where they stopped it, because when you rewatch it, you know, when it says like, but this could have been what happened, it doesn't go all the way back to there. It
Right.
starts, you know, somewhere. So
That's a
anyway.
good point.
Yeah, it'd be fun to watch the 3 of them, like, you know, side by side or something.
Yeah. One of these days I've never watched it like that. One of these days I got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I just like watching the 3 endings. Just, you know, that's the way that's the way they showed it on TV. You know, like that's the way I've always watched it. But
Yeah, same.
be fun to do that.
I didn't even know until maybe my second or third viewing that wasn't how it was released in theaters. You know,
I think the same. Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought, oh, this is cool that it's vague the whole time, and that's the whole point of Clue, is that anybody could have done it basically, and you know, the way they explain it all makes sense every time.
It makes sense in a way now that I'm kind of thinking about it. It's already a gimmick. You're making a movie out of a board game. You might as well have fun with it and like, oh, which ending are you gonna get when you go see it? Like that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like I think that's cool that they did that. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and then I think it allows for more engagement. Maybe people just didn't appreciate it at the time, but
Yeah.
for more engagement afterwards, because then you could talk to, you know, water cooler talk at the next
Yeah,
day, and you're
yeah,
like,
like, which ending did you
can't
get?
believe that Miss Scarlet did it, and somebody would be like, what are you talking about? Like,
Right,
Miss Scarlet didn't
yeah,
do it,
yeah,
and then you get the
yeah.
whole, it's almost like meta You know,
Yeah,
in a way.
because like in the game, it's never usually the same person or the same weapon in the same room. It's a crapshoot. So
Yeah. So
that's
that's
kind of
probably
cool.
what they were going for.
Right.
Because I don't know how, I wasn't around in 1985. I don't know how public it was that, they have 3 different endings. Because from what I saw, they put it on the ticket stub, basically, and said you have A, B, or C.
That's cool.
But did people even know that they were going to see ending A? Did they think, this is just how it goes? But personally, yeah, I feel best for the people that saw C, because I think that's the best one. That's the final one.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
I mean, they all work.
I agree.
But yeah, the whole thing, I'm gonna go sleep with my wife, is just the perfect
Yeah.
cap to it all.
Yeah, because he's like, there's another, like, he's a plant. He's an FBI plant. And then I think Miss Scarlet goes like, well, I thought that they would call you a fruit.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's witty.
One last little dig in before. Yeah. Yeah, Scarlett's character is all about sex, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Down to her job, I guess.
Did you guys like the chandelier bits where it looks like it's about to fall on Colonel Mustard?
I will say that's probably the one gag that didn't stick for me.
Really?
Yeah, because he just kept getting scared. Ooh, and it would play in like slow motion. I don't know why that one just didn't work.
Yeah.
Because it was always
They do
Colonel
it
Mustard,
twice.
wasn't it? Who was getting spooked by the chandeliers?
Mm-hmm. Both times.
He doesn't even notice it the second time. That was the one that got
I think
me.
he does know. Like, it crashes behind him, doesn't it?
Yeah. He's not looking at it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
The first time he doesn't
jump
know
scare.
it's happening, he says, "I can't handle any more scares," and then
Yeah.
he drops, and he basically like collapses onto the couch. That's
Good stuff.
And Ian, what were you saying about Mr. Body and the singing telegram?
Yeah, so Mr. Body's played by Lee Ving. That's not his real name. I forget his real name. He was the singer of this punk band called Fear. And how he got... It's really... His voice is... I don't know if you guys know this. His voice is dubbed.
Yeah, I noticed his like mouth doesn't match with his
Yeah.
lines most of the
Why,
time.
I don't know. I think he might be British.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that. Maybe they just thought... Maybe... I don't know. It's like the Star Wars situation. Your droids, we don't want them here. The guy's like, hey, your droids, we don't want them here. Like that, I don't know. Maybe they just didn't want a British accent. Maybe they thought that would detract. It's like, why is this guy British? Like when it's an all-American cast. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Besides Wadsworth, right? I mean,
Besides Wadsworth, that's a good
the
point.
British butler.
So I don't know.
And
Yeah.
if Mr. Body was his butler, like he says in one of the endings, maybe. But yeah,
That's a good
But
point.
Tim Curry also says something about Canada.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
So are you a British? Well, Canada is a British Commonwealth, right?
I thought it was French.
Might be French.
Oh, it's French.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
those Europeans.
yeah. Goofballs.
They all just kind of mush together.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think it's kind of cool that he's in it. The only thing I know Fear from, really, I'm not really familiar too much with their music, but John Belushi had them as a musical guest on Saturday Night Live one time, and it was like a total disaster. Like the crowd got. Have you ever seen that, Mark?
Yes, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a total shit show. Like the crowd got really rambunctious. A bunch of punks showed up and just like, it's not what the producers of the show were expecting, which is funny.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then Jane Weidlin, I don't know how to say her
Weidlin,
name,
yeah.
Weidlin. She's a member of the Go-Go's. I
Whoa.
think she's a singer and also she plays guitar or bass. Yeah, we're watching Jackass 4.5 Vacation. I was like, oh, we just saw that chick in the movie we just watched. But
Yeah.
She lasted about 5 seconds.
I like that gag. Just shoots. And then they go outside and look at her body and they just leave her there.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff, the gags with the dead bodies in this are pretty funny.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about when like they're like kind of like home
Weekend at
aloneing,
Bernie's,
like
yeah.
we get at Bernie's kind of pretending to make out with them, and that shit's pretty good.
Yeah, a little light necrophilia to make the. No, but it's for humor. That was pretty damn funny.
The cop, he's like, these folks are just trying to have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Lloyd, when he gets positioned between the dead Mr. Body and the dead cook, and he kind of like puts his arm around Body and his hand on the cook's like
that's a good
derriere.
pose. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. No,
Which for some reason in this watch through, I was all like, I don't know if I'd put my hand on her ass, because don't dead bodies usually like expel all kinds of things
He's
when
right
they
there.
die?
Maybe she expelled before she died. I don't know.
Gotta ask Cartman.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so I think I feel like we've done this movie pretty good justice. Wouldn't you guys say? I mean, it's one of those ones where you just have to watch it too, because us talking about it, we're gonna miss so much because there's so much going on. But definitely good on a rewatch. Definitely good, like you said, even with the family. Like little kids can come around and watch this movie, and they're not going to be, it's not too wild or violent or anything, and they're going to miss all the innuendo anyway. So
I used to love it as a kid too. It's great.
It almost makes it funnier. The little kids are like, "Oh, that was so hilarious," and you're like, you don't even know why you're laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess we should get down to rating it, huh?
All right.
I could start it off. I'll put my rating for this movie at a solid 4. It's funny, it moves well, the pacing is good. It's an hour and a half long, so we talk about that sometimes, how sometimes too long of a movie can detract, but I think this one was perfect, especially for the mood it's going for, that kind of light brevity. Yeah, lots of good jokes, good characters, good acting, and the story's solid and everything. So yeah, I would have to say, you know what, 4.5. 4.5 for me.
Changing it.
Yeah, I'm bumping it up because really there's not too much that detracts for me. I'm not always going to be in the mood to watch Clue, but
Right.
When I want to watch like a funny movie, and especially if, like I was saying, those murder mysteries are kind of seem back in fashion now, and that just makes something like this even funnier because it almost takes the piss out of it,
Yeah.
So 4.5.
Nice.
Ian, what do you think?
Well, before I forget, when you're saying, you just said, you're not always in the mood to watch Clue. That's a good point, because when I watched it a few months ago, I still liked it. I still had fun with it. But I had more fun watching it with Kristian last night. I don't know why. It's because maybe I always have, fun when I'm with Kristian most of the time, and he hadn't seen it, and, but
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Sometimes we have a horrible time together. But where was I going with that? I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you're saying. This isn't a movie that I can always throw on, but 9 times out of 10, I'll throw it on and I'll, be like, yeah, that was awesome. I'm going 4 out of 5. This is a really fun, witty, fast-paced comedy. Everything Roman said, I agree with. The one thing, as to why I'm giving it a 4 out of 5, I think I'd choose another 80s comedy. Other than this, I think I'd maybe choose Vacation with Chevy Chase over this. I think I'd choose Planes, Trains, and Automobiles over this. Yeah, it's not the first 80s comedy I think of when I want to watch an 80s comedy. But having said that, I do think, again, it's so fun. I like the murder mystery aspect. I like sort of Scooby-Doo-ish. I really like Scooby-Doo.
Right.
Yeah, man, it's just very well acted. Great cast. Yeah, 4 out of 5.
Nice.
Kristian, what did you think of this one? First time viewing.
Yeah, for a first time viewing, I thought it was really clever. The cast is great, even though they're not like Mark was saying, they're not like A-list actors or whatever. But I mean, you got Tim Curry, you got Christopher Lloyd, Alec Baldwin.
I think he's a producer.
Oh,
That's so weird.
It's random. Deborah
Yeah.
Hill producing, Alec
We
Baldwin
didn't even
producing.
mention Deborah Hill. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just see it in the cast.
In the credits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny though.
I'd say like Madeline Kahn is well known, and I at least knew Martin Mull from a bunch of
But
stuff.
I was trying to think, like, what else was, like, how do I know Martin Mull?
I remember we
'Cause
said
know
it
Martin
once
Mull.
from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
There
He's
we
in-
go. He's the principal or something, right?
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
But he's
Thank
been
you.
in a lot. He just pops up. He's like one of those character actors that just
Right.
pops up and stuff. I'd say.
Yeah.
But definitely, yeah, not down from the A lister, more of a B tier.
Yeah, especially then.
From what Mark said, and it's funny that we just looked it up, it's like Spies Like Us, Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd. It's not that. It's not like 2 gangbuster dudes that are going to draw money.
Right.
No. Yeah, but I mean, I was laughing through it pretty well. The whole sequence with Tim Curry where he's explaining like how it all happened and went down, I'd probably say that's my favorite scene overall. But yeah, I think I'd probably have to go with a 4 and agree with Ian on the rating. If I think I could watch this, because I'm definitely going to watch this again. On a rewatch, I could see my rating go up. So, yeah. Cool stuff.
Before you go, Carlos, one thing I would say about a rewatch, like, I was trying a little bit this time to make sense of it all. Like, when I watched The Thing, I was like, okay, who got infected here? Who got infected? With the rewatch, I almost feel like they do it on purpose, where it's just kind of ridiculous. Like, they'll say, oh, such and such was missing from this room, but then when you watch the footage, like, there's nobody missing, you know? It's just...
I think I tried to do that and I gave up.
Exactly.
Same.
Yeah. It's very complicated, but still, you catch a lot of this stuff on rewatch, you know? It's just, if you try to get too deep into the murder mystery part of it, maybe it's a little confusing. But maybe that's true to Clue, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Carlos.
I'm going to agree with you guys. I give it a 4 out of 5. I was cracking up this time around, and like we were saying, I understood the innuendo jokes a little bit better this time. I like the commentary on government and corruption and communism as a red herring. The actors, like we're all saying, I thought they were great. Tim Curry shines in this one, especially with all that energy he gives out at the end explaining the whole plot. Martin Mull as Colonel Mustard, surprisingly, I really like him, although the chandelier jokes didn't stick with me this time as well. Madeline Kahn, of course, was shining for me too. Her improvised line at the end, flames in my head, hilarious. And how close they stick to, how true they are to the game, the board game. They got all the props, the set pieces. The music is great too. It has that little haunting but also whimsical, like we're saying. You know, it's good on a rewatch. I liked it when I was younger. I still like it now. And it is fun to see with an audience, like Ian's saying. I watched it with my girlfriend who's never seen it, and she was cracking up too. We were having a good time. It's fun to watch with your friends, for sure. Mark, what do you give this one?
I'm gonna be a big fat copycatter. I'm gonna give her a 4 out of 5. She's a beaut, and the big thing for me was between seeing it in the 80s and seeing it now, is I didn't appreciate the style of comedy it was, and you know, and the rapid fireness of it. Like I said, it's watching the older movies and seeing that style of comedy and it being used in this style. And I'm with you, Ian. It's not a movie that I could watch every day. No, just that style of comedy, it's something kind of special. And I was thinking, you know, I'd said, I talked earlier about it being a B-cast movie. Well, you started talking about Spies Like Us. And so I'm plugging in, and I don't think it would work. I don't think it would work with the A guys, you know.
It's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys, the ones that are in the movie now, are moldable. And, you know, Chevy Chase is Chevy Chase. Yeah. And he's going to act like Chevy Chase.
Yep.
And
that's a great point.
So, but yeah, that's about it. Total change of heart. So 4 out of 5.
That's great.
I like it.
Nice.
Awesome.
Cool.
That's a pretty good score all around.
Yeah. That's damn near, well, not damn near, but it's almost a perfect score in a way.
Yeah. Well, that's it for Clue, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here, everybody. Next week, we'll be covering Jackass 4.5. Very exciting. Thanks for listening to this episode. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, of course. And we will catch you next week. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I gotta go pee.
You hear that? That young man has to go pee.
I believe he said he had to go pee.
that some of the
How do you feel?
editing on the mouths.
How do you feel?
Creepy in Forrest Gump, you know.
Yeah.
Because it was 90s or 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did a better job with the mouse and Babe.